Hello people, today I'm going to be doing a review of Uncharted, brand new Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg video game movie. My expectations for this was pretty low, and I don't want to say I went in wanting to hate it or anything. I just knew what I was getting myself into. And to be quite honest with you, the movie was exactly what I thought it was going to be, but a million times more entertaining at the same time. Um, Knowing the director, I know his first name's Ruben, I don't know how to say his last name. He's the director of Venom. So I knew that this might be a movie that audiences love, and judging by my audience, they did love it. And I think it started off on audience score on Rotten Tomatoes right now is an 87. And so very similar case with Venom. The thing about that was I didn't care for Venom. I don't like that movie very much. And so I'm surprised that I at least enjoyed this movie, because this movie actually had a lot to offer when it comes to entertainment value. When it comes to substance, like, it's kind of weird because there's some really cool ideas, particularly in the action sequences, that you can tell is just taken from the game. And so when you have conflicting quality, you really don't know what to give or take from the movie, because, like, particularly in the scene in the trailer where, like, they're falling out of the plane, jumping from this to that. Visually, sometimes it looks really cool, but when you start thinking about it, like, there's some things that I'm like, okay, that's really stupid. Particularly when they're falling and Tom Holland's holding on to something, or I'll just say Nathan Drake. He's holding on to something, but he's not like gripping it, and I'm like, but that's heavier than him, so it should be like falling a lot faster than him. There's like really dumb things in there, and at moments it did kind of bother me just by how dumb it was. But I'm okay with dumb concepts, like you've seen it in the trailers. There's like a pirate ship and stuff like that, and I don't have to get too much more in exactly what they do. But it's like that type of over the top was fine with me. But when they start questioning like how how laws of gravity work, is sometimes where was scratching my head a little bit. The performances by Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg were safe, they were fun, they were fine, they were funny. Exactly what you'd expect out of it. The first 30 minutes or so was a little rough because it's the most cliche action movie setup I've ever seen in my life. I was really like, in the first 30 minutes, I was like, okay, it's gonna be this way. But the second we get into like the investigation plot, once we have our characters together, Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland having fun action. Well, I would say overall the action was kind of hit or miss, but a good amount of fun action. I felt myself kind of enjoying it for the most part. I compared when I was walking out of the theater, I kind of compared it to Transformers, and I think that's like the way I view this, because Transformers I think is a lot of fun. I don't take it seriously, and I have a really good time with it. And I think Uncharted is one of those movies. And this is not usually not like me to give movies like this a pass, because like I said, movies like Godzilla vs. Kong, I don't like Godzilla vs. Kong at all. Other movies like Venom, I don't like that movie at all. Usually these type of movies where it's just dumb fun action, I usually don't give a pass. But this one at least had moments where I saw the quality of the video games, or it was at least fun enough. Didn't take itself too seriously like a movie like Venom tried to, where it had conflicting tones. The movie overall from beginning to end knew what it was and at least stuck to it. But that, not saying the movie's perfect, because there was some moments of dialogue that had me rolling my eyes. There's literally a part where Tom Holland's apprehensive about joining Mark Wahlberg. Then he calls him and he says, "When do we start?" And I had the biggest eye roll in the theater, I'm sure of it. But overall, like, I was expecting the whole movie to be like that, and it wasn't, because the CG also, I heard was kind of wonky, but it wasn't obsessively wonky like I thought it would be, because the CG, even though it was wonky, was consistently wonky, because, like, for example, in like a Marvel movie, sometimes you go in a Marvel movie, you have like the most beautiful CGI you've ever seen, and then immediately cuts to very questionable CGI. So at least here it was consistent, so it kind of suspended my belief a little bit more, besides like when a Marvel movie has like the best thing you've ever seen and it immediately cuts to something like, oh crap, that's CGI. So at least it was consistently, yeah, that's CGI, so it made you feel more into it. There was a couple shots where I wouldn't have kept it in, where you can tell it was trying to be adapting a video game just by looking at the shot. But I know from the video game fans, this movie tries to stay consistent with the story, but when it comes to like adapting the characters per se, it's not everyone's on board with it. So I really wouldn't have done that much of trying to look like a video game like this movie does. But like I said, it was fun. I thought I'd be giving this movie a terrible review, and here I am just so happy to say it was some really fun, dumb popcorn movie. I'm happy enough to say it was at least that. And like I said, I don't play the video games. I barely play any video games, so, you know, I don't have much of a say when it comes to like adapting the game, because I don't know how the game people feel about it. I know the people that walked out of my theater that I can tell played the game seem to be overall happy with the movie. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm gonna give Uncharted a very, very nice 6.5 out of 10. So yeah, comment down below what you guys thought of Uncharted. Like I said, surprisingly, it was a fun time. So yeah. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that, and adios.